Well, it's a Thursday. I've got the day off. Came up to the boat to wash it and just knock out a few minor maintenance items. Got a bunch of rubber scuffs, fender rash on the hull. I'm going to clean those off with acetone. My boat's 33 feet and 3 inches overall with the bowsprit up, and the slip is only 30 feet, and I've got maybe a foot and a half of airspace on the beam. So what happens is the leeward side of the boat will get pinned up against the dock and the fenders are rubbing on the hull and the finger. So I bought 3 rubber snubbers and got rid of the diagonal spring lines, and been experimenting with just tying direct and using the snubbers to spring the boat, and that allows me to tie it off a little tighter and have airspace on both sides of the boat. No matter which direction the wind's blowing, it's keeping the boat from rubbing on fenders. This is an open repair on the purchase survey. The water heater was lacking the clamp connector for the electrical connection. I've since replaced the water heater, and the new water heater, same issue, I don't have a connector on there, so I'm going to tackle that today. And this one is the oil pressure gauge for the generator. When I reinstalled the generator after the rebuild, I could not get the existing oil pressure gauge to read above 0. So I checked all my connections. It appeared the lines were good and no leaks. Bought a new pressure gauge. Ordered the wrong gauge. The one I replaced didn't have the electrical sensor. I don't know, the wiring was just different. It wouldn't talk to the safety box for the genset. So I've had the low oil pressure sensor disconnected. So ordered the proper Murphy switch gauge. This has been sitting in the boat for over a year. I just have not been in the right mood to get down in the prone position to swap out gauges. So we'll see how I'm feeling. I may tackle this today. So I'm looking at this run now, and this is another one of those, like, where do you draw the line on your repair? You start tearing into things that aren't technically broken, but are not to a current standard either. This is a multi-strand copper wire. It's not tinned, so if they're subject to corrosion, should be replaced with a marine grade tinned wire. Feels like it's either 14 or 12 gauge. Haven't handled wire in a while and I'm losing my touch here. I'm gonna call it 12 gauge. The good news, cutting into this, there's no oxidation, no green wire. It looks like healthy copper. Hasn't been exposed to oxygen or liquid. Yep, 12 gauge wire. And since my wire is not tinned, I'm gonna use some, I believe it's called dielectric grease. It's just an antioxidant compound. Gooey stuff to get your fingers dirty. This will keep my crimp connection from corroding, hopefully. Another thing here, just doing the right thing. Since I actually have it on board, I should use it. I'm gonna align my crimp connectors with heat shrink. And my heat shrink's a little bit too big, 2-to-1 shrink ratio. Yeah, we'll see if it tightens up. All right, I want to think about this before I join these wires. I already put the stress restraint thing on with the nut. Still need to tighten it, which is fine. Slid the heat shrink on. No, I didn't. Did I? Wait, no, I didn't. See? Slowly learning, always double check before crimping these silly connectors on. Oh, yeah, and see, I did this wrong. I should have put these on before I applied the goo. You know what, I'll put them on the water heater side, which are tinned. So obviously I've got my breaker off, the main's off, the boat's still connected to shore power. I started by leaving the water heater breaker was off, but the main was still on, and when I snipped the neutral, the pedestal on the dock, the breaker tripped, the GFCA, arc fault, whatever those things are, super sensitive. So I just killed the main on the boat and reset the breaker on the pedestal, just to make sure I didn't, I wanted to make sure I still had power going to the boat without a tripping breaker, even though I had cut this neutral, just in case there isn't some other gremlin in the loop that I wasn't aware of. What's interesting, and again, this is like factory harness wiring from the yard in Taiwan. The neutral, I'm sorry, the green ground is a separate lead, and it terminates into the base tab of the water heater, nail strip where it's attached to a stringer. I'm not sure why that's not going up and through the box here, but it's on the exterior of the water heater. I do have a ground. And I'm gonna crimp the neutral first and do the hot last. And again, I wanna make sure I have my heat shrink on there. So 12 gauge wire, so I'm using a yellow butt splice connector and the yellow dye on my crimp tool. This is an inexpensive crimper, got it on Amazon. I think it was like I don't even remember what I paid for it, maybe $20 shipped. One of my few sets of tools, inexpensive tools, that's been on the boat for a few years and has not rusted out, and it's still functional despite being inexpensive. Ooh, this heat shrink, after all, might actually be too small. Yeah, I blew it. My heat shrink, I thought it was too big. It's actually too small. I have bigger shrink. And once again, I should have test fit everything. Make sure I had all the pieces in the right places before crimping. Well, the next boat with the next water heater, if I do it today, it'll be done right. Now, there are these waterproof heat shrinkable crimps. These suckers are expensive, and I tend to go through 4 of them before I get one that crimps securely. So I don't use them unless it's a bilge pump. Alright, one's done reasonably pro, the other one's the electrical tape nightmare. Now, with all my rifling around, I managed to cause a leak. Water dripping here. I believe it's this hose clamp right here. Feels a little touch loose. So I just put a little quarter turn on this guy, see if it stops. And water pump's off, pressurize the system. Oh, that's the bilge pump. Water pump. down here, see if we get any leaking. A little towel within reach. Yeah, feels dry now. This is more of my ongoing copper to braided hose to brass fittings. I want to get rid of as much braided hose and copper from the system, replace it with modern PEX plastic plumbing someday. I'm going to use some of this metal wax to clean up all of the water stains on my water heater. The previous freshwater pump leaked, and that's why I have all of these stains on this water heater. This is the first and only time I will find myself polishing a water heater. I screwed up the stickers. I don't know, maybe this was a mistake. Alright, I'm going to kick on the hot water heater, make sure breakers do not trip. Everything's holding, that's good. I'll give this guy 15-20 minutes, see if it makes hot water. And while I'm down here, I'm going to check the water level in my battery banks. This is the engine start bank. Looks fine. She's good. Good. Down. No, that's good. All good. This one's drinking a little bit. A lot of corrosion. It's weird. Batteries are July 2014. It's now October 2018. 4 years. I haven't really noticed any drop off in performance. 3EH, 3 Echo Hotel batteries. I like them because they're half width. They're a little bit more manageable to lift in and out of the engine room by myself. Just about out of distilled water, so I'm going to bring this empty gallon container home. That way I remember to buy a new one. Hot water.